Sri Lanka is currently facing its worst crisis ever due to the power struggle between President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the Parliament of Sri Lanka. It is fueled by the anti-government protest and the demonstrations by the public due to the economic crisis in the country. Lieutenant Colonel Nandasena Gotabaya Rajapaksa was one of the candidates at the 2019 presidential election. He gained enormous public support after Sri Lanka was still reeling from the aftermath of the Easter Sunday bombings. The Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna came into power in 2019 with a landslide victory over its election manifesto. The government gained majority support due to its handling of the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, in 2021, the popularity of the president started plummeting due to the widespread opposition from various stakeholders owing to the inability and incompetence of the government when implementing policies. Though they gained credit for the handling of the pandemic, that popularity soon diminished due to their poor handling of the economy. The ban of chemical fertilizer turned out to be a costly affair as the harvest was severely hampered, bringing about food shortages throughout the country, and gradually Sri Lanka is witnessing lengthy queues to purchase important essential items such as food, gas, and fuel. The situation is further aggravated by the falling national currency rate and rising inflation, which has further reduced the country's income. The government also failed to preserve crucial foreign reserves, which curtailed imports to the country. Protesters, most of whom are young, including university students, have taken to the streets since early March 2022 to show their anger, displeasure over the mismanagement of the economy by the government. They have continuously demanded that the president step down, the 20th Amendment to the Constitution be removed, and for the executive presidency to be abolished, in order to bring about much needed change and stability to the nation. On 9th of May 2022, referred to as Black Monday, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa stepped down from his post. Ranil Wickremesinghe took oath as the new Prime Minister on the 12th of May 2022. The current crisis has led to unprecedented levels of inflation, near depletion of foreign exchange reserves, shortage of medical supplies, and increase in price of basic commodities. Some of the reasons for the current situation can be attributed to tax cuts, printing of excess money, external debts, fall of foreign remittance, agricultural crisis, etc. It is in the midst of all this President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was interviewed by Bloomberg. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa vowed to finish the remaining 2 years in his term despite months-long street protests calling for his ouster, but won't stand for re-election as he focuses on fixing a financial mess that tipped Sri Lanka into its worst ever economic crisis. "I can't go as a fallen president," Rajapaksa said Monday in a wide-ranging interview in his official residence in Colombo, his first with a foreign media organization since the crisis unfolded. "I have been given a mandate for 5 years. I will not contest again." The defiance came in the face of slogans of "Gota Go Home", with protesters blaming Rajapaksa and his family for the decisions that led to severe shortage of everything from fuel to medicine, stoking inflation to 40% and forcing a historic debt deficit. Thousands of demonstrators have been camped outside the president's seaside office since mid-March, forcing him to retreat to his barricade official residence about a kilometer away. The economic turmoil spiraled into political turmoil with the resignation of the president's old brother Mahinda Rajapaksa as the nation's prime minister, after clashes between government supporters and the protesters turned bloody in May. Gotabaya Rajapaksa and his new Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe are now seeking about 4 billion in aid this year from the International Monetary Fund and countries including India and China. Sri Lanka's rupee has lost about 82% over the past year, and the central bank on Monday flagged the possibility of further correction while the nation's debt trades deep in distressed territory. Bonds were quoted slightly higher on Monday, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. This is likely to persuade protesters who are calling for his immediate resignation, said Patrick Caron, an economist at Telmere. With president elections more than 2 years away, Rajapaksa's decision to see his term through will contribute to heightened political uncertainty over the next couple years and would hamper reform effects. The president said he wanted to replicate his previous successful stints serving the nation. Gotabaya Rajapaksa oversaw the Urban Development Authority and was Sri Lanka's defense secretary under then-President Mahinda Rajapaksa when they crushed a 30-year-old civil war in 2009. The president reiterated his controversial goals to push through natural agriculture, a short-lived move to ban chemical fertilizers that cause crop output to slump. Gotabaya Rajapaksa was also skeptical about the success of a planned amendment to the constitution, which seeks to contain the executive presidency. Cabinet is due to approve the proposal as early as Monday, which would roll back wide-ranging powers Gotabaya Rajapaksa pushed through parliament shortly after he was elected president in 2019. A draft of the so-called 21st Amendment gives some powers back to the Parliament and restores independence to commissions in key decision-making. Either the presidency should be abolished or the Parliament is kept out of governing, Gotabaya Rajapaksa said. "You can't have a mixed system," he said. "I experienced this and now know. People may blame me when I tell this, but that is the truth." Here are some other highlights from the interview. Rajapaksa's comments are edited lightly for clarity.